What's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is the Jose Show. Happy Monday. I hope that everyone is enjoying their day. But anywho, let's get into the first topic of the day. So let's start off today's show talking about the one and only Charlie Kirk. So as we all know, this past weekend, Charlie Kirk had a huge memorial going on over in Phoenix, Arizona. Well, as tens of thousands of people poured into Phoenix this weekend to attend Mr. Kirk's memorial service at the city's NFL stadium on Sunday, they turned the sun-baked streets into a kind of sprawling pilgrimage to commemorate the conservative activist in his adoptive home state, where conservatives are now fighting to roll back Democratic wins in statewide offices in recent years. So this is what was being said by someone named Kate Cara. So I just felt called to come. Okay, so she flew to Arizona all the way from Florida, by the way, in order to attend the memorial. And she had the hope of joining the more than 100,000 people planning to attend the memorial service, by the way, for Mr. Kirk. Okay, so Miss Cara was planning to line up hours in advance to get a seat at the first come, first served service, but first, she stopped on Saturday morning at the front gates of Turning Point USA, the conservative youth organizing group Mr. Kirk founded. Okay, so she placed a sign honoring Mr. Kirk among the wilting flowers, faded notes, and scribbled prayers of a tribute that has grown to the length of a city block in the 10 days since Mr. Kirk was fatally shot while speaking at a Utah college. Alright, so anywho, all day long people streamed up, some in mourners black and others in flag emblazoned t-shirts and MAGA hats. They left Bible verses or notes that thanked Mr. Kirk and expressed sympathies to his widow, Erica Kirk, who was named to take over Turning Point. They pushed babies in strollers or walked hand in hand with their children. Nearby, a vendor sold t-shirts bearing an image of a smiling Mr. Kirk raising a fist. So Nathan Michael, 36, said he decided to fly from his home near Green Bay, Wisconsin, with his wife and 3 daughters as soon as he heard the details about Mr. Kirk's memorial service. Alright, so Mr. Michael said he had not known much about Mr. Kirk before his assassination and that he had not watched Mr. Kirk's viral debates with liberal critics and college students, but Mr. Michael said that he, like Mr. Kirk, was a conservative Christian and that he viewed Mr. Kirk's assassination as an assault on Christianity. So this is really insane, ladies and gentlemen, that so many people got to attend this event this past weekend, because this comes to show that Mr. Kirk was highly loved by so many people. Okay, and the reason why he was so loved was because of the fact that he had these Christian views that a lot of people aligned with, and he had all of these, conservative views, especially, that a lot of people aligned with, and especially over in Arizona, because let's remember that Arizona, of course, is one of the states that has a bunch of Republicans. And it's so beautiful having to see that everybody was there, united, having their tribute towards the one and only Charlie Kirk. And, everybody was paying their respects for him. And, of course, Erica Kirk was there to, pay her respects and to pay a huge tribute towards her only husband, and was, tearing it down so much because she was, really feeling it on how sad she was into having to talk about her late husband and having to talk about the fact that, of course, she had a really good time with him as his wife and so forth, and how much she is going to miss him. And, of course, she looked really beautiful, especially with the outfit that she wore in the memorial service. And it was also a moment where she was like, okay, well, now that this whole entire situation happened where my husband got shot and killed, we should all get together, we should love, we should care, we should unite, and we should just, have a moment of silence for this guy, because this guy really deserves all of that. And, we should definitely just, be more considerate and more on the lookout for a lot more peace, a lot more care, and a lot more love, especially in the coming years and forever, because that is definitely what America should be about. It should not be about violence at all whatsoever. Okay, and what happened here basically with Charlie Kirk is, the opposite of peace. It's the opposite of serenity, and it's definitely an example that, unfortunately, here in America, we are going backwards instead of going forwards. Like, that's, I believe, basically what Erica Kirk was trying to say in the memorial this past weekend. And I'm glad that she was sending out all of these messages. And of course, she was being realistic and she was being straightforward towards everyone in the memorial service, because she didn't want anybody to be thinking, nor anybody to be seeing that she was, just there, like, whatever, even though her husband got shot and killed, and, basically be like, okay, well, this is the memorial and I'm just here and the end. No, like, and plus, that was the moment, basically, the perfect moment for her to just, break down into tears and be realistic and remember the man that Charlie Kirk was. Okay, and it's very amazing though how it was hundreds of thousands of people or tens of thousands of people that got to attend this memorial, because I wasn't expecting for this much people to be attending the memorial, because yes, I've always known that Charlie Kirk was huge, but never did I know that he was so huge to the point that he was going to have tens of thousands of people attend the memorial. It looked like a crusade, basically, because of how huge the whole entire amount of people was. And I personally think that it was just one of those things where now I believe that Charlie Kirk's name is going to be bigger now because of what just happened. And of course, because of the fact that, the memorial definitely was a memorial to remember. Okay, so anyways, this is really, really insane. But may Charlie Kirk rest in peace. He'll forever be in our hearts and he'll forever be in our memories, that's for sure. And my prayers go out to the whole entire Kirk family, especially to the one and only Erica Kirk. All right, now on to the next topic. Let's talk about John Oliver. So John Oliver minced no words reacting to the suspension of Jimmy Kimmel's late night TV show by ABC on Last Week Tonight, calling ABC and Disney CEO Bob Iger a bunch of cowards. Okay, so there is a clip that shows that John Oliver rails at Bob when speaking about how he believes the current administration will be remembered unfavorably in the history books, predicting companies allowing Donald Trump and his associates steamroll them will look even worse. Okay, so he says ABC and Bob definitely know better, but still let things happen, and likens Jimmy's suspension to letting a bully take your lunch money. He explains the bully is never happy, he will just come back hungrier for more. Okay, so this is insane. I think that John Oliver has a really good reason to speak up about this, because I think that it's really sad, like I said before, that Jimmy Kimmel Live got suspended by ABC, because this just comes to show that unfortunately freedom of speech is not that valuable anymore, and it's more valuable having to silence people for what they say. And second, Jimmy Kimmel was such an amazing host on Jimmy Kimmel Live. He really got to make our nights amazing, and he had really good humor and so forth. And I believe that it's a really good thing, by the way, that John Oliver is speaking up about this, and a bunch of other celebrities around Hollywood are speaking up about this, because they are actually letting Bob Iger and all of those horrendous people behind ABC and behind the FCC know that we are not okay with the freedom of speech getting silenced, and that we are not okay with the fact that Jimmy Kimmel is getting silenced, especially, and that Jimmy Kimmel is basically trying to open people's eyes into making us know that, what happened with the whole entire Charlie Kirk assassination thing, yes, was very sad. Yes, it was horrible. But, Jimmy Kimmel was basically trying to show us that Trump, I believe, didn't really react the way he was supposed to react to the whole entire assassination in an interview that Trump had with some paparazzis not so long ago. And then I believe that Bob Iger and the rest of those people from Disney were also not okay with the fact that Jimmy Kimmel, by the way, went off and said that this whole entire shooting thing was a political stunt. I mean, yes, at the end of the day, it was a political stunt. But yes, at the end of the day, it was something that, of course, was very sad, very horrendous, very awful, because at the end of the day, a human being's life was being taken away, and I completely understand that. Okay, but I do believe that it was a whole entire political stunt, like what Jimmy Kimmel said, because I think that a lot of people are over here like, oh my God, well, this is a whole entire conservative thing. This is a whole entire liberal thing. The liberals are behind this. The Democrats are definitely in so much hate towards the Republicans that look what's going on here and so forth. And we might as well hate the liberals more. We might as well hate the Republicans more, instead of actually making this about a whole entire human being getting shot type of situation. Because at the end of the day, if I believe the President of the United States were to make this whole entire assassination a thing where somebody got their own life taken away, I believe that we would all be united in this country, and we would all get together and be like, oh my God, we should actually be more loving, more caring, and more respectful of people's political beliefs. And we should definitely, be more friendly. We should definitely be nice for once and for all. I don't think it's hard whatsoever. I believe that's exactly what Trump should have said when he was being interviewed by all of these paparazzis, like last week, I believe it was, or 2 weeks ago. So I believe that what Jimmy Kimmel was trying to say here is, hey, you should be nice. You should actually say stuff that has nothing to do with politics. And you should just, bring some light, bring some joy, bring some unity into our country because of what just happened, Mr. Donald J. Trump. Okay, I think that's exactly the message that Jimmy Kimmel was trying to say when he was addressing all of this, and when he was showing that video where Trump was basically reacting in a very stupid, negative way to the whole entire Charlie Kirk assassination. Okay, so, yeah. I don't think that's really something bad right there. I think that's something good what Jimmy Kimmel did, and I believe that at the end of the day, I believe it's just, people like Trump that just wants to silence people. And I believe that, these Republicans, they are basically the kind of people that are all like, oh my God, don't be silencing us. We want freedom of speech. But yet again, these same Republicans are doing what they oppose to Jimmy Kimmel. So I don't really understand what's going on here. The math is not mathing here. The math is not mathing. So I don't know what's going to end up happening next, if Jimmy Kimmel is going to have his show back, or if he's going to end up getting canceled for good because of what he expressed. But if he's going to get canceled for good, then you know what, Jimmy? There is CBS, there is NBC, there is many other networks out there that I'm sure are by your side and that are willing to hire you. And you know what? Just like what Jay Leno said not so long ago, he said, you know what? Jimmy Kimmel is going to come back eventually. So I believe in the words of the legend of Night Talk, Jay Leno, that the one and only Jimmy Kimmel is going to come back one way or the other, because I know that at the end of the day, like I said, there are networks that are siding by him, especially the USA's Constitution is siding with him, that freedom of speech is definitely a right. It's definitely something that we as Americans should definitely have. Okay, so anywho, I believe that the more that there's going to be people throwing shade at these people behind ABC, I believe hopefully that it'll wake them up and realize that what they're doing and silencing Jimmy Kimmel is not correct, and hopefully there will be an agreement in between these people on ABC and Jimmy Kimmel. I'm hoping. Okay, but anyways, on to the next topic. Now let's talk about Kanye West. So Kanye West, in Whose Name third-person documentary, is in theaters now, and it's giving viewers a glimpse into how volcanic his last few years have been, including how things got bad between him and his ex-mother-in-law, Kris Jenner. So So in one clip obtained by TMZ, Ye is filmed crashing out on Chris in an explosive shouting match over the megastar rapper's public perception when he was hospitalized back in 2016. So Chris told Ye it didn't matter what the internet peanut gallery thought, prompting a temper tantrum from him on the spot, repeatedly screaming "it does matter" in her face. And the film documents the life and times of Ye from 2018 to 2024 and also goes behind the scenes of his 2018 appearance on SNL when he proudly donned the red Donald Trump MAGA hat. Okay, so Ye told the TV cameras he was bullied for wearing the political firecracker, but longtime SNL cast member and Weekend Update co-host Michael Che confronted him backstage after the episode. So this is really insane, man. I understand that Kanye West had his rights to be showing off his political views and he has freedom of speech just like everybody else does because we are in America. But I also feel like what Kanye West did in expressing his own political views with that damn MAGA hat on SNL was definitely not a really good idea, because we're talking about SNL. We're talking about a show where everybody, gets to sit back and relax and have good laughs at, because it's all about jokes and it's all about sarcasm and so forth. It's not about politics. And for Kanye West to be shifting that whole entire show towards politics, it just, to me, doesn't make any sense, and it's really something that turns out to be problematic. And plus, no one expected for Kanye West to be a Trump supporter at the time, because Donald Trump, he was already hated and he was already known as this racist. And then Kanye West, of course, he is a black guy, so that's why. But then later on, things got just so ugly to the point that, he ended up confronting this Michael Che dude. And I think that it was a bad idea. I think that there should have just been, more calmness with this. And there should have been like, okay, well, you know what? I should have not worn this hat. I should have just, not even been on SNL, since I didn't think that it was going to, if I would have known that there was going to be an issue with this whole entire problem with me wearing a hat, which by the way was a MAGA hat on SNL, and that's it, but instead it was just, something where Kanye West got super defensive in, and then that caused everything to become worse. And then the fact that he went off and he was yelling and getting very nasty with Kris Jenner, to me was also kind of unexpected, because I was not expecting for Kanye West to go this low to the point that he would end up disrespecting his own mother-in-law. I just thought that Kanye West was, just having the little altercations here and there with people out and about, and also with Kim, because of course he was married to Kim. But no, ladies and gentlemen, it just got too far to the point that it was just going really insane. And now I can tell and I can see as to why Kanye West ended up divorcing Kim Kardashian. And I think that this divorce was actually the best decision that Kim and Kanye have ever done. And I mean, even though, yes, of course, unfortunately, Kanye West is, trying to call attention yet again now that he is divorced from Kim Kardashian, because of the fact that now Kanye West has been calling out Kim Kardashian and some things, especially when Kim Kardashian was with Pete Davidson like 3 years ago. And then, Kanye, I believe, released a music video about Pete Davidson getting hurt by Kanye, and it was just getting very ugly from there. But I mean, things have not been as bad, though, as what we are now learning when Kanye was married to Kim Kardashian. And I think that at the end of the day, man, I think that Kim Kardashian, was like, okay, well, now I am resting from this crazy man. Now I am, living my own life. Now I am free, and that's a good thing, And I was expecting, by the way, for things to get this bad, by the way, because I already knew that things were going bad in between Kim and Kanye, but never did I really know the behind the scenes, the behind the closed doors on what was really happening here with this marriage, and of course with Kris Jenner and Kanye turning crazy and so forth. Because I mean, we only knew a few things that the media was telling us, but the media wasn't telling us everything. Since, like I said, we don't know, none of us know what happened behind the closed doors. So, anywho, I really am like, wow, I can't believe that things were the way they were. But anyways, on to the next topic. Now let's talk about Zac Efron and Nina Dobrev, because Zac Efron and Nina Dobrev have been causing huge stir. So apparently they were spotted looking pretty chummy with each other this week, getting close as they chatted on a yacht during their sun-soaked getaway with friends in Sardinia. So there are some pics that show that actors appeared comfortable with each other, standing quite close as they let out a laugh while their vessel sailed into Porto Cervo at sunset. Okay, so it wasn't all fun and games earlier in the day. Nina looked somber as she was comforted by her friend Keely Sperry on the upper deck, Zac nowhere in sight. It's not clear what may have upset her, but as you know, she and her longtime partner Shaun White just called off their engagement to the astonishment of fans. Okay, so anyways, as TMZ reported, the High School Musical alum Nina and Keely set sail together this week for Ripple Lab CEO Brad Garlinghouse's Italian wedding. Keely's hubby, actor Miles Teller, also joined, along with Chase Crawford and his model girlfriend Kelsey Merritt. Okay, so this is really insane, man, that Nina Dobrev and Zac Efron were seen together in this yacht. I mean, I wouldn't mind if Zac Efron and Nina Dobrev were to be, lovey-dovey, because they are really cute together, and I think that Zac Efron's really hot, and Nina Dobrev is also really hot, and they're really young, and I mean, let's remember that Zac Efron is single, and I believe Nina Dobrev is also single, and they were out in a yacht anyways. I mean, the first thing that we're going to expect is, for some love to come on and for some fun to come on. Because when you are out in a yacht, you are having the best time of your life, just looking at the ocean, and you're riding in a yacht, and you're like, okay, well, I'm out of the city, and I think that we even have a lot of privacy kind of to even, reveal ourselves, that we love each other and so forth. I mean, they didn't have a lot of privacy because TMZ caught up with them. I mean, that's how good TMZ is. But I mean, they thought that they had a bunch of privacy. But here's the thing though, if I get to see a smooch from Zac Efron towards Nina Dobrev, trust me, I'll go nuts, because I think that once that smooch happens, there's going to be a lot of connection. I can sense it. Because here's the thing. I mean, Zac Efron, I believe he has dated many girls in the past, and I believe he didn't last all that long with those other girls. But I think I can sense something good coming off of a relationship in between Zac Efron and Nina Dobrev, because I can just sense that Nina Dobrev is like that girl that wants something serious, and that she just wants to be with that one man, and that's it, and she doesn't want to go off with another man and then another man and then another man. Because I don't think I've ever heard about the fact that Nina Dobrev has been with so many men, just like Zac Efron has been with so many women. And I think that if that ends up happening where the wedding bells happen, then let it be. But I'm not trying to exaggerate. I'm not trying to be like wanting to make up stuff, because I am the last person to be making up stuff. But you know what? Love wins at the end of the day. And you know what? If they end up swimming together in the ocean one day, if they end up going to a yacht again, then so it be, because I believe that they would be really cute together swimming in the ocean, looking at the fishes, looking at the dolphins, looking at whatever is in the ocean. Well, minus sharks and minus the freaking whales, because I think that's really, really dangerous. But, it's really, really cool though. And it would be really, really cool. So anyways, love wins, and that's all I have to say about this. But anywho, that is it for today's show, ladies and gentlemen. I really hope you guys enjoyed today's lovely episode of The Jose Show. Till next time, and peace.